The most notorious word right now in the gaming industry is probably microtransactions. Microtransaction is a very small financial transaction conducted online, but most people know it as buying skins in games today. To everyone it seems that right now every game which is a AAA title has them, and more we have single-player games that come with included extra items or boost packs that you can buy with real money, and this practice has been very controversial and generally despised. But if people hate microtransactions all that much, why are they making their way more and more into our games? If you want a cool skin or a cool weapon skin, pay money. Do you want to open a loot box? Pay money. So if people hate them so much, why are they still a thing? It's because people buy them. And I'm going to take Fortnite as an example, even though it's not the only free-to-play game which has microtransactions, but Fortnite has been earning more than $300 million a month. PUBG, for example, makes around $650,000 daily, and from an investor's or business perspective, that is amazing. And you have to realize that these numbers are the only thing that matter to people in suits. They look at these statistics and they say, well, include more, people will buy them. Now let me give you an example of a research done by LandEDU, a student loan portal. They conducted a research on 1,000 Fortnite players and came to a conclusion that 68.8% of Fortnite players who were surveyed said that they had spent money on the game. The average amount of money that was spent per player was $84.67 and for a free-to-play game that is a job well done. When it comes to age and sex breakdown of the participants, there were 31.7% of people between the age of 14 and 24, 35.4% of people between 25 and 34, 22.6% between 35 and 44, and 10.3% of people 45 years and plus. Also, 58% of participants were female and 42% were male. Keep in mind, participants were people without the student loans because this is a student loan website, but people here did not have any debt, at least not a student debt. Also, this is not only Fortnite, it is one of the biggest games out there, so of course, it's going to be researched. Keep in mind, these things don't really give you any advantage, so technically, you don't have to buy a skin to win or be good in a certain game. Now let's see a bit more into statistics. 58.9% of those purchases were skins, 18% were gliders, 13.5% were harvesting tools, and 9.5% were emotes. And 79.5% of people that spent money purchased a $10 battle pass, and 45.6% bought the $25 version. And also, majority of participants said that they played Fortnite at least 10 hours a week. Keep in mind, there are other games: Hearthstone, Overwatch, CSGO, Battlefield, Call of Duty, Apex, and so many more games all have microtransactions. And when a company earns hundreds of $millions each month, I wouldn't be surprised that more and more games do that. Because we live in a culture where money is not saved, where money is not kept or planned in any way, and generally people love to spend it. And it's not only because of video games, people had always spent money on stuff that is not necessary, but it makes them happy. Same with skins. When you buy one, you feel good. You feel like you are standing out. And if you have a default skin, you look like a noob, or at least that's what they tell you. And for them, those players are not really worth that much. Yes, you play our game, but you are not giving us money. And from a financial standpoint, that business model is the best thing that has ever happened to them. But from an ethical standpoint, it's not so good. Even to the point where publishers will make their studios include them just because spending $60 on a video game in 2019 is not enough. Give us more. And besides, Microsoft, which started with microtransactions back in 2005 as a feature in the new, well, at that time, new Xbox Live Marketplace, Bethesda was actually the first third-party publisher to include it. In April 2006, they released the first of its planned expansion content for Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and that was the infamous Horse Armor Pack, which is still the most useless thing they could have done. Well, almost. And the thing is, all of these studios will tell you one thing: you don't have to buy them, and that is correct, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows here, because the core idea behind video games is being lost. The important premise of creating a piece of art, because in my opinion games are art, and of course, as it is in every form of art, you have good and bad examples. But the problem is that those microtransactions are getting in the way of what gaming is supposed to be: fun, entertaining, and immersive. The freedom to create something new is being put aside because of this. And I just read that a former Activision creative pitched the company a new IP idea, and in the end they said no. Again, it could have been a bad idea, but because it was pitched by Glenn Schofield, who is a co-creator of Dead Space, an amazing game, it made me think that it was probably because they couldn't monetize it. And this is where this freedom of creating art goes down, because without decent funding you can't really create something big. I'm not going to say good, because there are multiple examples where indie games, for example, contributed more to the gaming industry than some of the biggest AAA titles. Now, gamers do see this, and it is impacting the gaming industry. Big titles are going down because they focus too much on that and not on gameplay and story, because all of that has been put aside. And I'm not going to say that if a game has microtransactions that it's bad, but that business model will definitely hurt the gaming industry in the future. Even EA said that single-player games are done, which is not the case. It's just that only a couple of studios are now bold enough to make them, and I praise those companies that are still doing this to actually contribute to the gaming culture, not just to earn quick buck and jump on the trend wagon. And the reason why I say that this is going to hurt the gaming industry, because now every studio which creates a game without microtransactions and doesn't make a gazillion dollars a month is considered a failure. Maybe that game was good, but in the eyes of those publishers, it's not good enough. But again, I am not the one to tell you how you should spend your money. You have to think about that yourself. Now, I'm gonna be honest here, I also spent money on microtransactions. It wasn't much, maybe $30 to $40 in total, but generally, if I play a game for a long period of time, I will probably buy the Battle Pass. Never a single skin, because in my head I think, well, if I play the game that much, I might as well get myself a $10 Battle Pass because I get a lot of stuff for the least amount of money. But I would never spend it on a regular basis nor follow a trend just like that. Because I have to think about my money, I have to pay bills, I have to buy stuff for my PC, and in my opinion, well, when it comes to me, spending money on those microtransactions is a waste of money. I would rather save that money to buy a good single-player game. So next time you say screw microtransactions, just look at these statistics and you will know everything. Love them or hate them, they are still here, and I believe that in the future people will choose for themselves if they will buy them or not. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to a consumer. There is also a problem where people say that the number of skins that were purchased are mostly purchased by kids. They make their parents buy them those things. But in my opinion, I think it comes down to a parent. Are you doing a good job as a parent? And even if you have your own job, you have your own money, I think it comes down to you. If you want to spend money on this and it's your money, then do it. But at the same time, for all of those that hate microtransactions and that generally despise them, as I said, just look at these statistics. So I don't think they will go anytime soon. And this is something I wanted to talk about for so long. And if you enjoyed this, smash that like and subscribe button for more essays like these, and tell me down below what you think about this and did you ever spend money on them. Be honest, as same as I was with you. This is LKM signing out, and stay classy everyone. Bye bye.